Hey guys, welcome back to Susan Shares. Look what I've got.
Kennedy Coffee.
Kennedy Coffee and Jake Goss. I've got me a guest on Susan Shares. Jake's in for a pit stop.
Honored to be here.
So welcome to Susan Shares, Jake Goss.
Thanks, Mom.
So I talk about Jake pretty frequently on Susan Shares, so I thought, why not have him in person? So he agreed to, and so I'm so happy that he did, and so we're so thrilled to have him join us this morning. So, you know, I just recently talked about him on his 30th birthday, and talked about him as it refers to passion. And so I said, Jake, I'd like for you to join me because I want you to share just a little bit of your journey, how you started playing the drums.
Yeah. Well, when I was 11, I saw That Thing You Do. Great movie. And Chad was in youth group, and Zach Cameron was playing drums. And I think the combination of those two things made me want to play drums, mainly That Thing You Do. I thought the drummer Guy Patterson was the coolest guy in the world, and so I asked my parents if I could get a drum set, and they're awesome, and they got me a drum set for my birthday.
Yeah, and then after you started playing the drums for a little bit, I remember you coming up to me and saying, I think I want to be in the talent show at the end of the year, and you did.
I did.
And you remember the song you played?
That Thing You Do.
That was awesome. And so that was started Jake's passion. And then one thing led to another, and then he had a desire to go to Belmont College, and the drummers there were pretty awesome. And awesome drummers, what do they do for you?
They make you better.
So they don't intimidate you, do they, Jake?
I mean, they're intimidating, but it's awesome to be around. To be around greatness in a way makes you elevate your game.
That's a great attitude to have, you know. I love that. And, you know, it's one of the things I want to talk about today. And as I talk about it, I'm kind of interviewing Jake at the same time. And Jake, it wasn't long ago, they interviewed Jake at Mosaic Church. And he said a few things that I think fit in with what I want to say today. So I'm kind of combining the two, if you will. But one of the things that all of us experience is this mindset that we either have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. And I think Jake's a great example of a growth mindset. If you've got a fixed mindset, you think, well, I can't play the drums, so I'm done. You know. But if you want to play the drums, if you say, I remember the day he walked up, I want to play the drums in the 5th grade talent show. Well, okay. And he didn't have a set of drums, but we got a set of drums, and he ended up playing at the end of the year the drums at the 5th grade talent show. And a fixed mindset would say, well, I can't do that, so drums are just not my thing, so I can't do it. And if you've got a fixed mindset, you know, people that are better than you, they intimidate you and they make you feel like a failure. A growth mindset, people that are better than you, they motivate you. They make you a better drummer. And that's the way I feel like your mindset is, and growth. And one of the things that they interviewed you at Mosaic was how you maneuver this profession of yours as a professional musician in a dark world. How do you do that?
Well, first off, I'd say I think since I was 11, I'm not sure when it all clicked, but I knew what I wanted. I think that's important. And I kind of had vision, and I could see a future, and I knew I got teachers and surrounded myself with people that were great, and was in bands, some of my best friends, and all that was massive for growth and for kind of putting this thing inside me that knew I wanted to do music forever. And those early years are really important, putting in the work in the early years. And so yeah, that's led me to here. But I mean, just through relationships alone through those years, kind of trained me to be able to be around any kind of person, whether they're a Christian, whether they're an atheist, whatever it is. Just I knew I always wanted to just be a light in the room. And I always surround myself with people growing up that were like that. Um, the band I was in junior high and high school is called Very Special Guests, and we were all kind of dorks, but we loved making music and we loved people. And so I can even take that back as early as like Jordan Carpenter, Grayson Crouch, and Jeff Baker. We walk into like an old grimy smoky bar, but we would treat everyone with respect, and we would just try to hang out with them all night and be best buds, and maybe leave that venue and maybe they remember us as being a good band or a bad band, but maybe sometimes more important to me is they remember that we were really great people and they want to have us back. And so I think it's really important when you combine the talent with character and heart. I think it's like a really beautiful thing, and I always try to bring that in, not just bring in like the best band or like the best drummer, but someone that can bring in their character and their heart and soul into what they're doing. And I think people kind of gravitate towards that, and I think it's contagious. And throughout my career, I've like with band with Jars of Clay, they always would do that in every room. I've learned a lot about that from them, and from people in Mosaic like my wife and Erwin McManus, my father-in-law, and my parents and my brother and people I grew up with. It's just they were always kind of the light in the room, and I really look up to those kind of people.
That's a great word of testimony. The scripture that comes to my mind is Matthew 5:16, and Jack and I talked about that this morning, and it's a scripture that I had on the refrigerator with Jake and Chad growing up all their life, and it's a great verse to have in our heart. It's a hard verse to live out, but it's one to strive to live out, to let your light so shine that others may see Jesus in you. So, and I say frequently, on Susan Shares, Lord, help me to represent you well. So that's true in all professions. So, Jake, thank you so much for this.
I'll chime in real quick too.
Okay.
Another important thing I think is it's not an easy road, and I think if it seems really easy and really safe, I would say get out, because it takes a lot of hard work and risk and boldness to be who you are, and especially as a person of faith, to kind of live it out on a daily basis. But the reward is amazing, and to be able to, what we get to do as Laney with Paul and Les, they're Christians, and it's amazing because social media is crazy these days, and our fans like maybe talk like us and act like us, and when we lead with love and thoughtfulness and gratefulness, we see it in our fans, and it's like a really beautiful thing. And to know that we have that kind of platform is pretty awesome. But it's been a lot of hard work, and it hasn't been an easy road, but it's been a beautiful, beautiful journey.
That is amazing. Thanks, Jake.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks. Oh, love you.
Susan Shares. Support it.
Shares. Okay. Love you. Bye-bye.